Hi guys, Mrs. Alberts here and welcome back to my channel. Let's begin. Okay, let's do some practice questions for EKSAMENLOKAAL. Goed, nommer 1. Hoe lyk 'n eksamenlokaal gewoonlik? Maak 'n lys van dinge wat daar behoort te wees. So, what does an exam venue normally look like? And make a list of everything that should be there. So, this can be anything. I just gave you a few examples. Desks that are stacked in rows with spaces between them. Maybe desks that are numbered. Maybe there's a wall clock there somewhere to say how much time you've got left. Maybe they're writing it on a board. Maybe a box for cell phones. Nommer 2, watter gevoel ervaar jy as jy 'n eksamenlokaal binnestap? So which feeling are you experiencing when you enter an exam venue? It's anything from being calm because you studied to having anxiety because you're stressing. Senuweeagtigheid is to stress. Spanning is tension. So those types of emotion. Nommer 3, kyk na die titel van die gedig. Watter kontras of teenstelling is daar tussen die onderwyser en die kinders? So, when you look at the title of the poem, it says EKSAMENLOKAAL. Then, when you look at the first stanza, you will see that there is a contrast between the children and the teacher. What is that contrast? Well, the children, they are choopstil, which means they are quiet. And the teacher is making the noise. How is she making the noise? It's her shoes as she is walking up and down between the desks that make a sound. So it's the choopstil versus the sound of her clicking shoes. 3.2, haal 'n voorbeeld van klanknabootsing uit strofe 1 aan. So you have to quote a form of onomatopoeia or an example of onomatopoeia. That's the word click. That's the sound that her shoes make. 3.3, die gedig is so geskryf dat die leser kan hoor en sien wat in die eksamenlokaal gebeur. Skryf 'n voorbeeld van elk uit strofe 1 neer om te bewys dat ons hier van sintuiglike waarneming praat. So the poem is written in such a way that you can hear and see that whatever is happening in the exam venue. You have to now take out of stanza 1 examples of hearing and seeing to show that there is sintuiglike waarneming. As with the previous poem, wetenskapsmannetjies and ken jy die see? With sintuiglike waarneming, it's when you experience things through senses. So hoor, you can hear the teacher's heels as she is walking up and down, so it's that click sound. And then sien, you can see the teacher walking up and down. Okay, number 4 is a sneaky question. It says choose the correct answer. It says that you have to look at the one that is not an example of whatever they have in the sentence. So be careful. So everything will fit. There will be one that does not fit. So it says choose the correct answer. Choopstil banke is not an example of. So it is metonymia because choopstil banke refers to the students, but they are naming something in relation to, so that's metonymia. Choopstil banke can also be personification because desks cannot be silent. It's a metaphor. Your learners are being compared here to quiet desks or to desks. And then finally, the one that does not fit is contrast because there's no contrast in choopstil and banke. 4.1 is choopstil banke 'n geslaagde beeld? Verduidelik jou antwoord. So choopstil banke, is it a successful image? Explain your answer. I said yes because the desks get human attributes, but it is actually referring to the students sitting at the desks. It's because when we are walking up and down, we are not really looking at you, the student, but we are moving past desks. And the desks, you sitting there writing your exam, you are so quiet that you are almost forming part of that desk. 4.2, waarna word daar eintlik in versdeel 3 verwys wanneer daar van choopstil banke gepraat word? So, what are they actually referring to when they speak about choopstil banke? They are referring to the quiet children sitting at the desks. Watter 3 opeenvolgende woorde wys op die herhalende patroon van die onderwyseres se stap of se gestap? Which 3 consecutive words refer to her repetition, her pattern of walking up and down? It's the words literally up and down. Nommer 6, wanneer skryf die leerders die eksamen? When are they writing this exam? They are writing this exam in September. We know this because it says so in line 5, die September eksamenlig. Number 7, nou en dan kraak die blaai van 'n blad. kies die korrekte antwoord. Ek skryf slegs die vraagnommer neer. Die aanhaling, dit should have been die aanhaling is 'n voorbeeld van. Okay, so this quote, nou en dan kraak die blaai van 'n blad. So it's that sound of a page when it turns. What is an example of? It's an example of synecdoche. Now, I'm not 100% behind this one. I struggle with this one. I don't see it completely like the department explained it. But so the blad is actually one thing that is a part of another. So it's the page of the question paper or the page of the booklet that you receive when you're writing in it. And as you know, synecdoche, it's one thing, but you're only referring to a smaller part of the one thing. So they are referring to the page when they're actually talking about the whole booklet, the whole exam paper. I don't like this one because there's better examples of synecdoche in this poem specifically. But when you hear the turning of a page, it's simply something that I would say you have experienced through using your senses. So to me, it's more sintuiglike waarneming. But I do see when we explain it to its full how it can be synecdoche. 7.2, wat word deur die blaai van 'n blad gekraak? So what is being cracked or broken by the turn of a page? It's the silence. Everything was silent, and the next moment somebody turns a page, then suddenly there is no more silence. There's a sound coming through, so silence is broken. 7.3, dink jy die beeld wat hier gebruik word is geslaagd? Okay, so do you think this image is successful? I said yes, because you can hear the learners as they are turning the pages. It breaks the silence through that sound. So it's a very typical exam venue situation. This is something that you have experienced in exam venues where you have been personally. So it's a very proper and legit, I want to say, image being given to you here. Number 8. Hoe voel die leerders wat eksamen skryf? Wys jou antwoord deur 4 opeenvolgende woorde aan te haal. So how are they feeling when they are writing exams? You have to prove it by quoting 4 consecutive words. And those words are hande bewe met rukke. Now, what I see I didn't do here is I didn't put in the emotion that they are feeling. So it's probably the same as you look at your previous questions where they are anxious, they are nervous, senuweeagtig, hulle beleef angs, daar is spanning wat hulle beleef, and we see that through the words hande bewe met rukke because it's the hands shaking as they are sitting at the tables waiting to start their exam. Maybe while they are writing, their hands are also shaking. Nommer 9, skryf een woord neer wat die spreker gebruik om die antwoorde wat die leerders skryf te beskryf. So one word that you have to write down that shows us how the answers look that the learners are writing, and that word is inkwarboel. Remember, inkwarboel means a mess of ink on paper. Okay, at number 10 it says, wat word met die inkwarboel in reël 7 bedoel? So what do they mean with the word inkwarboel? And as I just said, it means that the learners' writing might be, I don't know, a mess. Maybe they are writing so fast that they are scribbling. They're not writing neatly. That's the literal one. Or we can look at maybe the figurative one, the connotatiewe betekenis, that the message or the answer that they are writing down is not making sense. It's all confusing and not really coherent, what is written on the page. Nommer 11, hoe beklemtoon die spreker dat die papier sonder enige merke was? So how do they emphasize, how does the speaker emphasize that the paper was clean before they started? They speak about skoon wit velle, so it's the clean white pages. Nommer 12, wat versteur die stilte in die examenlokaal in strofe 2? So what is breaking the silence in the exam venue in stanza 2? It's the pages that turns, daai kraak van 'n blaai, so it's when they turn the page. 13, die horlosie tel die ure af. Watter vorm van beeldspraak is dit? So the watch is counting down the hours. Now we use that term in English, but in fact it's personification because a watch cannot count. So it's personification, that's the type of figure of speech that they have in line 8. 13.2, watter indruk word hier geskep van die tempo waarteen die tyd verbygaan. So what are they trying to bring home for you about the tempo of which time is ticking by? And it's basically that time is relative. It can be quick or it can be slow. So think about when you are in an exam. Sometimes you look up at the watch. You looked up maybe a few seconds ago and suddenly it looks like half an hour is gone. Or you've just started and suddenly your hour is up. Other times you are done and you keep on looking up and the minute hasn't even moved 5 minutes, it's still standing still. So it's relative. It depends on how you feel in your exam and how you are writing. If you've got nothing to write, then it will be long time. If you've got a lot to write and there's a lot to get through, then time will definitely be very quick when you are writing. 13.3 is dit funksioneel dat strofe 4 slegs uit een versreël bestaan, motiveer jou antwoord. Is it functional that stanza 4 consists only of one line, motivate your answer? Yes, because it's all about the time. And time is the thing that plays a major role in you finishing a paper. If you run out of time, you won't get good marks. If you don't have enough time, you will not be able to finish everything or do as well as you would want to. The moment you see time running out, you start to rush and then you make mistakes. So time is being emphasized and the importance highlighted by placing it alone in a line. Alleenplasing. 13.4 kies die korrekte antwoord. Skryf slegs die vraagnommer neer. Versreël 8 is 'n voorbeeld van. So that's the part about the time, the watch counting down the hours. We've had a question similar to this before. So it's not a metaphor, it's not a simile. It's not polysyndeton. I hope you remember what polysyndeton is. That is a repetition of the word en. So it's a conjunction en that you use multiple times in a sentence. No, it's personification because it's counting down the hours. 14, lees weer versreël 9. So 9 sê, sy stap stadig en oes die stelle een vir een. Watter waarneming word gemaak op die manier hoe die onderwyseres vraestelle inneem? So what can you see about the way the teacher is taking in the papers? She is taking them in one by one. It takes time to do so. It takes longer to do so. 14.2 verduidelik die gebruik van die woord oes in versreël 9. Oh, I love how I answer oes right there. I just see that. Oh, my mistakes are just priceless. Okay, so they say explain the use of the word oes in line 9. So they use the word oes because just like harvesting, oes means to harvest. Just like harvesting, she is taking in things one by one. When we harvest, you have that big harvester that goes down the line of corn and it takes the corn cobs, not literally one by one, but a little bit at a time, little bit at a time. So that's why they use the word oes here. It also completes a metaphor that she uses for the whole section there at the back. The whole last stanza is based on this harvesting metaphor. 14.3, waarna verwys die woord stelle in versreël 9? Stelle, the word stelle, what does it refer to in line 9? It refers to the full word vraestelle. 15, blou op wit. Waarom is die woorde blou op wit opvallend? So why does it draw your attention, this blue on white? Because it is exactly what we write with. It's the blue ink on the paper. So it's something that we know, it's something that we see every day. 15.2, wat wil die spreker vir ons sê van wat die leerders doen? So what does the speaker want to tell us about what the learners are doing? They are taking a pen and they are writing their knowledge on paper. Okay, number 16, haal een woord aan om te bewys wanneer die leerders geleer het. And you have to quote one word to give evidence about when the learners studied, and that word is gistermiddag, which means yesterday afternoon. Pas die stylmiddels in kolom A by die aanhalings in kolom B. So when you look at 17.1, metonemia, tussen die rye tjoepstelbanke, so it refers to that tjoepstelbanke, banke referring to the learners, but they are saying banke. Metafoor, ryp met gistermiddag se kennis, they are comparing the papers that's been taken in to ripe grain or corn that is harvested by a teacher. Synecdoche, hande, bewe met rukke. So here, this one we didn't discuss in the questions, but we did in the notes. This refers to a hand, a smaller part, but it actually means the whole person. That is synecdoche. And then personificasie, we've done this one 3 times now. It's the watch counting down the hours. Number 18, voltooi die volgende sinne deur die ontbrekende woord of woorde in te vul. We like it when they give you these words. It's horrible when they don't give you these words. So stanza 1, I'm just going to translate the sentence so you can see what it says. Stanza 1 is about the teacher that walks up and down through the rows of desks while invigilating. So toesig hou is invigilating. 18.2, strofe 2, stanza 2 is about the pages that crack or make a cracking sound when the learners are paging. 18.3, stanza 3 describes how they are writing their answers. 18.4, stanza 5 is about the teacher taking in the question papers. And then number 19, gee die thema van die gedig, you have to give the theme of the poem. Die angs en onsekerheid, so the fear, the anxiety and the uncertainty of when a person is writing exams, or you could say the description of the atmosphere of a typical exam venue. I hope you are not shaking when you are writing Afrikaans and that you are well prepared. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you've got any questions, you can follow me on Instagram at Afrikaans Classroom. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos, like and share.